fans around the world are out in force today as Loud pushes the series to map number 4. We've got watch parties in Buenos Aires, Mumbai, Los Angeles, and London, just to name a few. And their nights will extend just another hour or so at the very least, as Loud has handed the very first map loss of the entire tournament to Fnatic here, Bala.
Yeah, there's not going to be the undefeated streak that we might have thought after map 2, after Fracture, and we're going to map 3. I think that was a ridiculously good comeback for them on Split. Just the fact that Fnatic even came out on that looking pretty good still. It looked like Alfear was going to start having a game with the anchors, and they adjusted very well in the second half.
Yeah, they really did. And for the side of Loud, it really felt like they were just like reinvigorated in this game. The individuals started stepping up a lot more in the second half. We started seeing more of the clutch situations, and it reminded me a lot of some of the previous series that we've seen from Loud. One of their strengths is that when the going gets tough, when the pressure applies, they're fantastic at coming up with these miracle rounds in scrappy situations, like the pistol round here for Sadok. Whereas on the other hand, for Fnatic, I feel like in these situations, they start to crumble a little bit. And in this map, we saw so many moments where Fnatic was making mistakes, not clearing corners, missing out on a trade, all these little moments that are kind of reminiscent of some of the previous issues this team has had.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some roughness here from the side of Fnatic, who were definitely not looking like themselves from the previous 2 maps. They finally give up an advantageous half to the side of Loud for the very first time, and then they can't get that bonus round win in the second half. Dropping that gives that major momentum swing over to Loud and really stop Fnatic from getting themselves back into that match.
I got to give credit as well to Les, especially on that second half, for him to maintain composure, shut down a lot of the rotates that Boaster was calling that made those rounds chaotic, like you were talking about, Mimi. He thrived in those situations. That 4K at the top of heaven holding ropes push was phenomenal, and he has been a rock for this team. And he also was the guy who shut down Optic's little comeback in the last Grand Finals that we had just in Champions 2022.
I mean, Les, he owned the leaderboard in this map. Ospas not too far behind him either, though, Mimi, and that's another player that we've been wanting and waiting for something here today.
Yeah, the first 2 maps were a little bit slower for the side of Ospas. Game number 1 in this series in particular. But here on Split, with this double duelist composition, he really came alive. On their attacking side, this team did a fantastic job, I think, of varying up their executes, making this double duelist composition feel like it has a lot more dimensions than maybe we've seen them throw out in the past. And Ospas, as an individual, did great in varying up his play, going different directions, and still finding impact consistently.
That's a pretty steady ramp up. Game 1 to 2 to 3 there for Ospas. And so if he starts getting cooking for real here, Seth, now I'm wondering what he can pull out on Lotus.
So that's what you want to see. But the big question is, Lotus,
right, yeah, exactly.
Is it just going to be a similar situation where we have, you know, this raised jet coming through once more, but with Lotus being a 3 spike site map, it feels like that really limits the amount of utility that you have. I'm really curious to see what they put together.
Yeah, I mean, given what we've seen on Pearl from them, on Icebox from them, and now we're going to see what they go for Lotus here. This is a map that Harbor can work. I think this is a map that we've seen the team try Harbor on at this tournament, and I think very much so that Loud is going to maybe try for that. And that's why I was saying Icebox pushing all the way back towards the map 5 for Fnatic is kind of staying away from that strength, that rock that has been there for Loud in these Harbor comps.
Yeah, and I think that in this composition, I'm wondering if they're going to maybe try and pull out a double controller composition. Omen has had quite a prevalence on this map. The power of those teleports to get across to rubble, get early space, find those paranoids as well is fantastic. But on the side of Fnatic, they've ran a comp unique from most other teams in this tournament. No Omen, no Breach. Instead, they're playing this double controller composition where they're kind of putting an emphasis on the fade raids and on Durka instead.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see too many adjustments. I mean, Bala was kind of talking about it before. These are 2 teams that don't really like to shake up their comps too much, so expecting to see that Viper, Raze, Astra, KJ fade from the side of Fnatic, but Loud is the big one that has to go under the microscope. What do they do? You're talking about liking the Harbor on this map. 2Ace is going to start with it.
Yep, Prime Gaming Agent Select. We're already getting a look at the Harbor. It's an interesting situation where Loud has evidence of what Fnatic wants to play on this map. It's really a question mark what Loud wants to bring out.
Yeah, and the game plan looks similar to what they've brought out on their Pearl, where they're playing this double controller with both the Viper and this Harbor in the mix. So they're going to have fantastic stall on that defensive side. Also, good retakes with all of those smokes. On the attack, though, that's where they're investing in the Ospas Jet, which I'm a little surprised by.
Yeah, I think here, showing this comp from Loud is a sign that they're prepared. It's a sign that they're going to be comfortable on this map. If we saw anything else, I would have been very scared.
And for Fnatic, what they need is adaptation. They can't have prepped this map. They don't know what Loud is going to play, so it has to come down to minis, timeouts, and boasters to come up with a plan.
Loud is picking up steam here in our grand final. They've already brought us to 4, but the question is, can they bring us to 5, Seth? It's all going to come down to this Lotus. It's a scary beast that you're up against. Taking a look at the scoreline timeline that Fnatic posted on this map just a day ago.
I mean, like I said 2 days ago, you're able to stop a reverse sweep from happening versus yourself. You want to hope and believe that Loud can push this further, can take this all the way to a Game 5, give us that truly just goated 5-map series here in a grand final.
And for Loud now, that momentum is starting to build. The crowd is bringing the energy back. They're getting excited again. Loud, they want so badly to win back-to-back, to win on this home stage in front of their home crowd.
I mean, if there was any conditions for something like that to happen, it would be with Loud. It would be with the crowd. It has not happened. DRX is literally the only team to have even gone the distance to attempt it. So it's a long task ahead, but it's the conditions. Yeah.
And Fnatic,
I gotta get that in there.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And for Fnatic, this is like their first real test. Like you were mentioning earlier, first map they have lost this tournament. First time that they've been in a position where they're in a series where, sure, they're still in control. They still have a map up, but they're a bit more at risk now.
Yeah, I mean, how do you deal with taking a punch, right? That's always the question when you're looking at a fighter, and this is Fnatic taking the first punch of the tournament.
I think, though, their split is one of those maps that are super more disorganized than you're used to seeing from the rest of the comps. This one we just saw against Na'Vi the day before is a lot slower. It's a lot more coordinated.
Well, the sixth man is fully behind Loud here. The question is, can this grand final go the distance? Can we get a map 5? Here's Brennan Sideshow with the call.
Will be a dream come true for us, I think, but for the competitors, listen, Fnatic are going to be putting everything on the line to stop Loud in their tracks. The desk was hammering it home, Josh. Momentum is behind them, the crowd's starting to get their energy back, and this is a potential dangerous situation for Fnatic. You need to close it out here.
I think part of the danger also comes from you have no idea really what Loud are going to bring to Lotus. You've seen the composition before on Pearl, but it's going to play very differently just because of the map. So where's that utility going to go? It's going to put strain on Boaster to figure this out, put strain on Mini. Prior to them losing on Split, the closest Fnatic had come to losing a map was Furia throwing a weird composition at them on Haven. So definitely this team being one where they like to know what they're going up against.
Yeah, the counter-strategy and prep. It's a big part of their game plan. And
what is that?
might be seeing glimpses of it. Maybe they just knew that Leo was going to be posted up on that angle. Spam brings him down, and now a fast play right into the... Oh my!
Wow, what a play. Snakebite into the pull, and Boaster sprays 2 down. The frenzy is so good in those moments.
And you ain't surviving that. It's thrown uncertainty into the mix. A tap of the spike. A bait, perhaps, of the positioning. They want some of these Fnatic players to give an opening, a shot, a freebie.
It's a big post plant. It's very open. We've seen people win 1v3s with the spike planted in this spot.
No way. Miscoordination, the wall falling. Maybe just not calmed, maybe just not called, but traded down to 2. Loud need this pistol. They need it desperately. Running and gunning, that's the name of the game. Beautiful one to land, and Aspas with 21 health. Chip stacked against him. Tap of the spike, Boaster sticks it. Feeling confident. He knows his team's got his back, half on it. Don't want to give away anything for free. And a pistol round claimed.
Diligent from Fnatic closing it out. It's the opening 2 kills, though, that really made the difference, right? I mean, it's a 3v5 right from the beginning. And we don't even get a sense of how Loud are going to play this kind of comp necessarily because it went wrong so early. But I am interested to see where different teams commit their Viper utility. The wall that Fnatic throws cuts through that rotating door on A. So it actually allows them, more so than any team I've seen on Lotus, to fight for tree control on defense. But it does also weaken, you know, slightly the B-C areas of the map. And Chronicle showcasing there that the snakebite is imperative to holding. Another 2K, sure. Boaster blessed by God.
2 away from the Cosmic Divide. It's farming up these players. Fnatic so comfortable in this round. Throw a bit of chaos into the mix, the rotating door. It's going to mean that Fnatic are like, okay, well, are they pushing B? Are they still C? Game plan from Loud, though, seems to be claim the ult orbs, build up those big ults.
Yeah, playing hungry, hungry hippos in round 2.
Cows in with a contact play here. What is a Q? He's, just got right past it. All that util that was otherwise going to dissuade. And crosshair placement's not quite good enough. Boaster spots it out. He knows his position is compromised still. There was a chance, a glimpse at a head or neck shot. Chronicle, though, contains.
Doesn't look possible here. Boaster's just going to tighten the net. Sadak's just getting swarmed from all angles.
Yep.
The coordination from Fnatic in these moments is still really good.
I love this discipline that we're seeing from them.
Prime Gaming flawless. And now we get to see whether, you know, all of that from Boaster is actually going to result in something interesting this round. He's 5-0 right now, and you called it out. He's one away from a Cosmic Divide, really useful for retakes. But it just seems like their default setup again on defense side. First round that Loud can really buy rifles, and I'm assuming they're not going to lose 2 immediately, but you never know.
Up to Loud to answer back. Patience. Waiting it out now. It's a slow creep towards B main.
Althea broke the door immediately at the beginning of the round to go and help the A players. They're leaving B just off the turret contact. And this wall is also really interesting in terms of its application for B retakes.
Turret's going to be revealing quite a bit.
Durka just has to contain here. Doesn't need to peek.
And he's just not looking.
Punished for that one.
With him falling, High Tide rips its way across. Trailblazer has to clear a lot there of the side connection, but now to Cove. Lets down the free plant, but Boaster getting that kill has now got his ult online.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Cosmic Divide, now he's going to be using it. Why not? Throw it into the mix. And alongside it, fight's being taken, and it's all coming up Fnatic. A kill feed of green. And it's vibrant. It's looking good. Well, if Kawazine and Sadak have got something to say about it.
Winnable for Sadak.
Instant trade. Sadak repositions here. Is it going to be known? The answer is yes, and that's so well played. Dodging, juking, weaving in and out, using the Cosmic Divide, never giving an easy target.
Yeah, really solid movement. Very nicely done. But from Loud, I expect Aspas to be able to win that duel. I expect Aspas to be able to take out Chronicle. And I certainly expect Tui's to be able to get a trade. These are the moments that have been seriously letting Loud down in big rounds. And if you want to start an era in Valorant, if you want to get back-to-back titles, lift a second trophy, bring Kawazine and Tui's into the fold as, you know, make your mark on the Brazilian scene, you have to see Loud winning those rounds. You have to see Loud winning those moments. And everything has gone the way of Fnatic, apart from Split so far.
Unconventional miss from Durka. But this isn't unconventional. He went for a second peek.
He's always aggressive. And that's one of the things that's so exciting about watching Durka and Aspas play, actually. They're really comfortable on both of the duelists that are meta right now.
Cascade. Attempt there to push them back. The Nano Swarm at Alvia's feet. Knew he was not going to be swarmed.
But this is what's different about Fnatic's defense on the map. Every other team just gives tree there. And this team is very happy to fight. It is so difficult for Loud to get through that door.
Opened up. Dog moving forwards, but it's exchanged with the Prowler, and I believe Fnatic should know there's nothing behind this one. And while all this was happening, again, it's the slow play. Just the Sheriff's in their hands. What can Sadak do with it? Space gain, spike nowhere near, and with 35 seconds left, this is looking a bit dodgy.
The push here,
Close
if
to close.
Boaster isn't ready for it, he is. He spots it out.
And so aware that they gave up the side, still, Chronicle, what was that?
It's a great shot by Sadak.
Plant's gonna go down, Cove. Defensive barrier, yeah. Not pushed away, not punished, but it does pull that spike to a bit more of a favorable position. Moving now onto the site, Leo. Baunt up top, close, spots it out. So now they know Reckoning, though, is used. That's a great response. Flash as well. This is really awkward and really dangerous.
And Aspas is coming on a flank here too. He's getting in behind them. And the plant, because it got pulled, is going to be for him. Oh, the read on it!
How do you manage that? Kill found, but still that time is being bled off the clock. Still a danger. Still a situation. Fnatic, surely you don't do it. Boaster trying to stick it, does not claim half. Kills flooding in, and no more time. Prior work wasn't put in.
And what a huge round for Loud to claim. Cowanzin's death does not go in vain. Rifle still saved. And Loud take a massive thrifty there. Off the back of Sadak too, a player that we've been criticizing, and I think fairly, for his lack of impact. He's found it difficult to get the read on the game as well, but after Split, this guy maybe with a bit more confidence. Found his way into a really tricky angle over at C and then hit a gorgeous shot to take out his Viper counterpart and open the door.
Huge round. Puts Loud on the board. In what was otherwise supposed to be looking like a 4-0 lead for Fnatic. But early days yet in the map.
And these things are never safe, are they?
No, never.
So Cascade used here from 2East, just taking a bit of space over at A. The door open, Cascade used again. No responding Viper wall here, which indicates, I think, that Fnatic don't actually have presence there.
Another tap at the door. Trying to throw a bit of misinformation into the mix. It's Loud though that are steadily gaining that position. Less attempt was made there from him. My goodness.
What a kill.
Great opener, and look at the rotations drawn. Fnatic are giving up all this space.
I love the contact play that Sadak has started adding in. He started doing it on Split, and it's working so supremely well. Fnatic on defense are always waiting for the cue, and Sadak just isn't giving it to them.
Plant drop down, powerful post plant position! Leo, what is that? Spray control finding two. And now it's dangerous. Spannable angles though. Les has done his homework and he's got the lockdown online. Could be the difference maker, and I think it will. Chronicle forced to take his own pace, really run him down. 4 seconds remaining. Due to be detained, 3 bullets, can't get it, and not a kill in sight.
Coming into this game, Brent, coming into the grand finals, I had 2 people in my head in an MVP race, and it was Leo on the side of Fnatic and Les on the side of Loud. I think Les has been the best player for Loud over the course of this tournament, and rounds like that demonstrate why. Finding the opener in a lurk and closing things out on the opposite side, huge level of impact, really intelligent repositioning. And after Leo's been a bit quiet on Split, maybe Les has a chance here of being able to impose his will upon the series.
Take that fight directly to him. Leo was leading the charge on almost all of the prior maps.
I mean, the first 2 maps, he was putting on genuinely the best performance we've ever seen in a grand final.
Tough to beat. Present showcase though. Neutral shot down, dash forwards, but no one's clearing. At least the tree area. Door. Now to rotate around and spamming it. Really smart by Les.
Good clearance.
Yeah.
And now it's about just being safe. You know, making sure that the flank coming out from Boaster doesn't catch anybody. It's very claustrophobic post plants here, actually, from Loud. Yeah, they're all stuck on site.
All grouped up, and that could cause some difficulties.
But the weapons just
laid down. Weapons
surely
are
aren't
good
good
for
enough.
it. Spraying it. Here with just the one. Is that 2v4? What is he waiting for? Recalled star at his feet as he opens up the door, maybe? Waiting. Pops it up. Up close. That's Boaster's domain, but nevertheless, it's Loud who take the round, draw it even, 3-3.
And thus far, the actual gun rounds have been going the way of Loud. I mean, that one, a bit of an anti-eco as Fnatic take a half by, but I've been liking the way that Loud are working the map. I think they're putting a lot of heavy emphasis into controlling A early, faking towards tree, using Les as a lurker on the other side of the map. And Fnatic are going to take quite an early timeout. I suppose we're halfway through this defensive side for them. But this does feel like coming up, round 7 could be a massive turning point. Fnatic are 1 round away from having to go down onto an eco, and there are huge ultimates online for both sides. You're expecting both teams to invest extremely heavily. And it's tricky. If Loud get into post plants, they have the Viper's Pit to work with. But both teams are loaded with absurdly good ults. I'd say over the course of the tournament, Fnatic have been better at constructing game plans around them.
Certainly have. This map on that knife's edge. The advantage that we've been placing in Fnatic's hands, that we've been singing their praises for, could rear its head once more.
Just because Fnatic have 2 maps already does not mean that they are favored in the current map.
It's true.
Momentum doesn't work like an avalanche. Mostly just a mental thing. And Loud look like, from my point of view, it looks like they're back on track after split.
Finding that presence in the server.
And of course, we hadn't seen Fnatic's Lotus until they demonstrated it against Na'Vi. It looked excellent there. But again, just because Loud have never shown Lotus does not mean they're bad at it. We kind of learned that lesson yesterday with Fnatic.
Yeah, not much showcased, but the map pool was deep.
So Chronicle uses his Viper's Pit to completely lock down C. They're committing Viper and Killjoy to C, completely controlling that. But Loud could run a fake here into B and pivot A, or just go for some kind of pick.
Door broken.
They have so much map control.
Yep, it's an opening. A squeeze now into the B site. Looks like that was a solid goal, Durka. Let him rip that showstopper. Nothing to show from it, and now a Viper's Pit of their own. Lays it down. The toxic fog rolling deep.
I think Leo's ult is going to be massive here. Nightfall into this and follow the Prowler. You might be able to get inside this pit and still win.
And there it is, Nightfall. Tagging onto Aspas. There's going to be a Prowler at his back. Maybe he can't quite hit anything. Wall, everything on this one, Boaster. Good positioning for him, but still. Time's time to be bled away. It's down to this fight that's being taken place. Alfier dealt with, traded, Loud, in control, but for how much longer? The pit's fallen, Chronicle spamming, he will fall. Down to the 2-on-2. Nana Swarms, buying him time, Cosmic Divide. That's forcing the issue. And Leo, he's holding the ground, he's a stalwart defender. But Boaster gets half, waiting for the repush. No more time, backs away, and that's Loud once more.
Every round feels safe with less involved. It's a Red Bull clutch for him technically, but I mean, the Nana Swarm has just delayed so much time. And then he's so diligent at being able to trade out Leo there. Very nicely done. He knows it. He knows he's put his team in a position to lead the half now. Loud have won one of the most crucial rounds. I said it was a pivot point, massive ultimates invested, and Les is one away from having another lockdown. They need to navigate this aggression over towards Rubble though. Fnatic have 4 players pushing this one through.
And there's no eyes on it. It'll be Les who is tasked with containing this. A deeper push. Turret's not even watching for it. Smoked off. Moving back. Off angle held, tap, 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 ADSing, looking like yay out here. Certainly doing the damage.
So much done. I mean, the round already over, the big gambit from Fnatic fails. But it was only an anti-eco that Loud have managed to repel. Having said that, Fnatic have only really won pistol round, the follow-up, and then the bonus. So Fnatic have demonstrated one round, essentially, round 3, where they had some form of rifles in hand and were able to put a stop to Loud. Other than that, this composition that Loud have showcased, that Loud have invented to apply to Pearl, also is working wonderfully as an ace in the hole here on Lotus.
Maybe evidence of just how reliant Fnatic are on that preparation, the counter-stratting play. But when it's taken to the limits, map number 4 of Lotus, the unknown quantity. Loud steadily but surely claiming that lead. And maybe even running away with it.
It's another really important one for Fnatic to get on the board in order to halt this. I was talking earlier about momentum not, really mattering too much over the course of a series like this, just being in the players' heads, something that true competitors are able to shake off. But within the game, momentum is massive, and the economy's blooming, the ults are cycling. Loud are firmly in control. Durka goes for aggression off the back with Alpha yet. Sadak does not look like he's ready for it, but he still picks up one.
Getting the one kill there when he was really just being assailed from every angle is just magnificent. Still they do all that. Bullets flying through, not enough to claim the kill through into Kawazin. But he takes a forward position. Dog clearing through, spots the one, Cove. A safe plan offered. And this was such an important round for Loud to win. It's going to put a strain on the economy once more for Fnatic. Boaster, desperation. But what options is he afforded? They have to respect the lockdown, they have to back away.
This round looks like it's over already.
You just got to save.
When both of these teams are so good at their fundamentals that they're trading, rounds can be over based on such a small thing. And I said at the beginning there, Sadak didn't actually seem prepared to deal with the aggression coming out from Durka. But Sadak has woken up in this game. And the shot that he hit, startled, reacted, took out the star player. I mean, look at it from his point of view. Is able to deal with Alpha instead. And that, because of the trading from Les, from Kawazin there, just leads to an eventual 3v2. And Fnatic can't hold on. Loud are so quick to trade, whichever team ends up getting the early footing, it often just flows that way.
Fnatic not gaining any ground. His rifle, V-rifle rounds have not been going their way. Loud taking charge, taking position. Maybe even taking names off the back of this. Look at all this control.
So Althea has been breaking this door frequently. Not every round, but frequently. And this time, Loud are taking it and using it for themselves, threatening that they could be going into B. The turret removes so much information from Fnatic's defense. And look at how they've isolated Durka on A.
Completely separated. He's gonna have to perform a miracle, a magic trick. And he's been up for the task in the past. Reckoning though, that'll push him back. Can't withstand that one. The water burst, the water sprouts, just making it incredibly difficult to stand your ground and take the fight to them. Cove, unconventional. Places this one down and Kawazin's offered an opportunity to collect this one. But it's counterplay, lockdown used, pushes them all the way back. Loud are forced to just really vacate the premises.
And this is where you've got to control the breakable door. Boaster's the key player here.
And he's going to be trying to do that damage. Thorn in the side, smoke, crossed up, Leo, before it even bursts. It was a recall, oh my! The IGL making the most of it. And Leo's there as well, a helping hand for surviving, and the retake looking sublime.
There's Fnatic leaning on their strengths, getting the ultimate rounds working for them. Is it too little too late? Perhaps not. If they can make this a 6-6 half, there's definitely all the chances in the world for Fnatic. We have no idea how good Loud are at the defense of this map. Your guess is as good as mine at home.
Such insane parity. And these teams are pushed to the brink.
Les has picked up the operator here, expecting some kind of peak early on. And certainly, Boaster has been jiggling this.
Smoke's going to be a bit delayed, though. Orb gained. And space. Cascade as well, going to be threatening that there could be a push coming through onto B, but I think the turret, deep in his position by Alpha will be making sure they've got a full knowledge in the back of their minds as to where these players are holding. Great opener. With Boaster falling. Fnatic no choice now but to run their way out of there And this post plant now that Loud are getting set up into, it's a brutal one. Still counter spam, a faster play indeed. With Aspas falling, there's a possibility, a chance.
Possibly an overheat there from Aspas, looking to take the fight a bit too early. This is going to be a standard Pearl C post plant. Everybody playing off site, just spamming from sand.
This could be nigh unwinnable if you are trying to retake into this one. Sanak holds his ground, stands his ground. Kill found, Leonodi off angle. Unconventional. But all they got to do is hold the sight line. And it should just be gifted to them. Alvier, so much to do. Time still running, taps it, force the fight, can't hit the shot, 7 bullets, and he knows he has to stick it. It's the only percentage play, but it's shut down nevertheless.
It's a great post plant. It's really difficult. I don't think we've seen any team properly dismantle this. You know, from a theory crafting point of view, I think teams will eventually be looking to do big flanks through the attacker's spawn to try and deal with that setup and put pressure on those players. But at the moment, the map is so new. Teams are still figuring out how to respond and whether they have the time and the space to go for elaborate stuff like that. Final round of the half. Loud on the precipice of making this an exceptionally good Lotus attack. They're so quick at applying pressure around the map. There's 125 still left on the clock, and they're pressuring C, they're pressuring B.
It's got Fnatic a bit discombobulated. Players rotating this way, that way. Push, pulled. Player spotted though. It's up to Boaster again. Pull, that's good. Looks Aspas and pulls him right back into the crosshair. And that's really stunted this attack now. Out. What do they do without the spearhead? Call's made once more. War goes up, but a snake bite. Just to push them away, just to push them back in case that contact play is there. Cosmic Divide. It's a cacophony of ultimates being used, and that really does invite moments like that. Chaos. Nightfall now. All the senses dulled and deafened.
Very close from Chronicle.
Does the spike get down? Tapping of it. Raw spam. Satchel pushing them back. Fight needs to be taken. Sadak needs to win it. He does not. Pip down, dropped. Rocket to the side. No one is capable of standing up to that. And so it's down to less. But even he can't withstand it. 5-7. Fnatic making it just that much more respectable.
And they have battled back in this half to make it feasible that this could still be the final map in the series. They could get crowned here on Lotus as the top team from Lock-In, the top team to start the 2023 season. But it's going to put so much emphasis on this pistol to draw them back a level in the map.
So much emphasis indeed. But before we get into that, let's send it down to the desk to break it all down.
Thank you so much, Bren. Loud find themselves yet another 2-round advantage going into halftime here. Already mounting more rounds than we saw Na'Vi able to put up in an entire map on Lotus against Fnatic just yesterday.
Yesterday was domination. This one is a different story. This is what I was talking about. This Harbor stuff for Loud has been crucial for them throughout this entire tournament run. And they finally bring it out. For the first time we see their Lotus, it's quite good.
Yeah, it really is. And similar to what we saw from them on that Pearl composition, they have been really good at playing into some of these retakes. But the way it started out for the squad actually was with Fnatic being really incredible in some of these retakes, right? They are able to get back into this A site. This was the case from their game versus Na'Vi as well. But later into this half, it became a story of Loud and how they were playing in their posts.
Yeah, the real amazing thing about both sides is they were really working their strengths. The C retakes were really good for Fnatic. They went 4 for 6. The A post plants, with Les the way he was playing, they went 3 for 4. So as soon as you started seeing that, both coaches were saying, let's lean into that.
This guy right here, Achilleos, 300 ACS on Les. He topped the leaderboards on Split, and he's looking to do the same here.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he put up a strong performance while he was feeling under the weather versus DRX. Now he is right back up into tip-top shape. We saw him on the walkout popping off, really just reveling in the crowd. A little bit of a slow start, much like the rest of Loud, but in this map, he is looking incredible. But we still need to see these incredible performances. This Harbor finding value as they get ready to swap sides. Prior to coming into this map of Lotus. 61% win rate for the attackers. Fnatic are definitely not out of this despite that 2-round deficit.
Yeah, in the first half it was about Let's Lurks. Now it has to be about him anchoring, because Fnatic is very good on these side executes. They are not out of this game yet.
Do you believe in magic? Because Loud is pulling out all the tricks here in map number 4. Let's get the second half underway. Back over to our casters.
This pistol round going to have that vital importance for a team like Loud. A reverse sweep, that magic that is necessary. You're going to need more than tricks. Maybe even just a blessing, some divine intervention.
It looks like Loud are set up to try and contest Sand here. 3 of their players, Cascade and a Trailblazer, stops you from being able to shoot that so easily. And they get a lot of information out of it and start loading ult orbs early. No, they didn't go for it, actually. I thought that was going to be the game plan there, but they're just clearing the area out and starting very quick rotates towards A. Already predicting where Boaster's going to be taking his team as a reaction.
Second guessing themselves, though. All picked up for good measure. Drag those rotations, so Loud trying to put a stop to this.
And Fnatic on their attack side were loading orbs into Durka. You'll see this all across the map. Durka is their focus for getting his ultimate online on the attack side. And then they use the showstopper to create space on B and on C. I don't see why they would deviate from that plan when it worked so well against Na'Vi. But now Kawanzin is really going to get tested. They cleared Sand at the beginning of this round. How quick does the help come? There's still 4 players defending A.
Yep. It's Alpha here. He's really pulled the brunt of that all the way over. The defenders just swarming the position, and it's given over that free site. Leo set up for the plant. Nothing to dissuade him, nothing to push him back, and this is a call to be made. Look at this from Fnatic. 3 players, looking like they want to fight tooth and nail. Up close here. What have they got to play off of? Jump peek, wider swing, and the guns rain, but oh my God! The heads fall and tumble. Twisting off the necks.
That's ridiculous shooting from Fnatic. And in a 4v1, Les just is not going to be afforded any opportunity.
Boaster weaving in and out, no easy fight.
What a play.
And that is massive. The call to be made, but also how collected Fnatic were to be able to withstand that.
Look at the shooting here. And that's ridiculous. I think that's a Kalat headshot.
Yeah,
that Durka hits.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
And then immediately follows up. Everybody on Fnatic is disgustingly, sickeningly skilled. But Loud have demonstrated in this series already that they have mental resilience. That they can take a hit and bounce back. We've seen it from them in prior series too.
They're off balance for now. Play made over towards the C section. Look at that. Orb gained as well. Counter spam. Goes in. You're lucky to get out. Even 4 health, but it's holding the flash. Pop flash play around the side, and readjustment is there.
Fnatic are going to be swarming into the A site here by the look of things. Less only with a frenzy to hold them off. But for Loud, this round is not the one that they're playing for by any means. A couple of guns out of hands would be useful, I suppose, but Loud are going to be firmly thinking about the future of this map.
No clearance at the back of the site, less. Oh my. Reaction. Alfia majestic with it. Alfia wants to be a bit more of a presence as well. It's a flank play by him with the Marshal, but he's going to have to aim for the cranium.
If he manages to pull this one off, the most absurd play I've ever seen.
Won't be allowed. 7-7 for Fnatic. Drawing even. And a back and forth game. The dance has been played by Loud and Fnatic. Draws so much more closer.
Putting serious pressure on the Loud squad that's playing in front of their hometown here. São Paulo, where these teams have been based for a long time in Brazilian Valorant. Lifting the back-to-back trophy here would be everything, but they need to convert on Lotus. And remember, Loud have only ever lost to 2 squads in the history of this team. They've only ever lost 4 series ever. They barely know what it's like to lose. It's the first time playing against Fnatic, and the heat is on.
Turned all the way up. Pistol out. Deals with that one. Gotta respect the util though, so Sadak backing away. Loud also going for that reclearance today, main. They've got a lot of information with this one. Trailblazer.
And it's a really heavy defensive hold over B. I mean, you've got a cascade in your face, a Viper wall that you take damage, or decay rather, as you go through. An alarm bot, nanoswarms. B looks really difficult. But I told you they were going to load ult orbs into Durka. And here's where it pays off. Showstopper in hand. Some kind of strategy is going to be crafted here, most likely around Durka's entry. B looks very difficult, though. Even if Durka himself gets through, I don't know how everybody else would. And it looks like they're heading back to Aspas.
Holding the off ankle. No heads to be found, backs away. A bit bloodied, a bit bruised. That space is all going to be gained. This is really getting quite pressured in terms of time. Spike's going to be landing and rotating its way over towards C in the midst of all of this one, and it feels like just smoke and mirrors all over the map.
A regrouping here. Are they waiting for Durka, or do they want to try and use the timing off the A distraction? Looks like they wait, pause for a moment, and Durka's going to ult in.
20 seconds left, it's everything! Showstopper exchange, but look at that! Snakebite, nanoswarm, reset, let's with 4! Just magnificent!
And Sadak finding value from the grave as well. Don't forget that. Great shutdown, but really, Fnatic being their own worst enemies by playing the clock out for so long. They had Durka's ult online way earlier in the round. But yeah, it's the nanoswarm alongside with the vulnerable that the snakebite applies. Just shreds those players and sets less up.
No withstanding it.
And that's the entire game plan from Fnatic. All of those ult orbs that they harvested in the previous rounds, that's designed for that exact round to work. For that play, for Durka to entry, for space to be made, and a path carved for the rest of the team to enter. And now Fnatic, they're going to be pushed.
Going to be pushed.
Loud have taken the lead, and Fnatic are forced to take a timeout. There aren't really big ults to make a game plan around, and so far, both B and C look off limits. I mean, when I'm looking at the setups here, the Viper combined with the Harbor and the Killjoy utility looks very difficult to get through on B, unless you've already taken rubble control and broken the door.
Yeah, almost impenetrable. The defensive setup of Loud really paying off. Forcing Fnatic to take their timeout. Second one of the map.
When Fnatic played against Furia, there was the timeout taken, and Boaster said in the post-match interview that he just had a quiet moment to sit and think about how to break down his opponent, and he eventually came up with the plan, with the game plan that worked, and they were able to win that one in OT. The longer you allow Fnatic to ponder on it, they got some good minds there, experience too. But Loud currently winning the Pret battle, I would say.
Shoes on the other foot, Fnatic. Again, footsteps all around sand, making sure that they just pump a bit of noise into it, and it causes Loud to use a bit of that util in response. Still, it's a deep A main push, and Loud with these two players. You can see Aspas and Kawazin. They're disrespecting it for now, holding these angles. Prowl around the sides. In the middle of this, yeah, faking that presence. It looks like B was their goal, but this is going to be such a tough sight to break through. Dog broken, and now they're alerted to it. This will fall. Major, major pick. And none of that util is going to be helping them out to push them back. It's a fast pivot, a call made, straight into C. Sadak has to be the man. The man of the hour. Prowler latches on still, but again, Fnatic, they waited out.
This is such a strange move. Fnatic under time pressure again.
They're grasping.
They wanted to get back into C, knowing that there was no nanoswarms there, and now they have to re-hit. 25 seconds.
It's so uncertain, but it's skipping a hop over and away! Shut down! Spray down! It's all sad hack. Angle watch for pure reflexes, pure precision! And the ace is denied, but I think he's okay with it.
what a potential turning point in this series Split was. I feel like the first couple of maps, Sadak was completely mentally overwhelmed with trying to deal with what Fnatic were throwing at him. But after Split, the preparation is all there. Sadak doesn't have to worry as much about countering his opponent's game plan, and instead can just get back to fragging as we expect from this guy. His individual form has improved so much compared to the first couple of maps. The team captain for Loud has truly woken up and answered the call.
Stalwart defender. Prowler misses from Leo. Maybe a sign of a bit of a blunder there, but...
So after Durka was having his ult orbs loaded up, he had that, you know, fateful failure into the C site with his ult. Since then, they've been loading ult orbs onto Leo. So there's going to be a play off the Nightfall in this round.
A delicate dance yet to have. Pressure now being applied. Straight into tree. Fnatic not messing around. Nightfall cleaves its way. Scatters across. Latches onto one.
And look at how they leave a couple of players back. Chronicle and Alpha playing very reserved post-plan positions. That's what I would have wanted to see Loud do in the first half.
The retake. Durka's position here is common to be pre-fired. He has to play this on an off angle as the smoke fades. It's only 1-for-1. But is it going to be enough? Damage certainly being done. Lockdown still in play. And it has to be respected. Far back enough that there's still going to be options availability.
And again, the important player here to deal with is Sadak.
And Sadak, anchor around the side, two! Spike though, not being diffused, but angles watched for Leo. He's still a threat. Into the 1v1, and no more time, surely, whatsoever. The top of it, and he is just far too clean.
Leo once again delivers them another round, but it's the time pressure. Loud having to wait for so long as Les's lockdown was triggered. Whenever there's a lockdown retake happening, you gotta clear that breakable door position. Sadak almost gave them an opening to be able to win. But look at Leo, look at how unfazed he seems. This guy's 19.
He was not worried.
Playing in his first grand finals against the defending champions of Valorant. And I've not seen a flicker of doubt on his face.
With 7,000 fans against you. Feels like he's been born, molded for this kind of battleground.
I do like that Fnatic have adapted to try and take Rubble early. It pulls people away from B and C and allows maybe a pivot back there later on in the round. Now, I mean, we can see that Aspas is set up on a really dangerous line with the operator. So Fnatic's best bet might just be to try and shove this into 3 defenders on A.
Layers of utility. That dog is spotting the most. And that's all the info gained.
Wow.
Viper's Pit. How do you get around this one?
They pop the Viper's Pit and rotate players to B, anticipating the pivot from Fnatic. It doesn't look like it's coming.
Lockdown, close into the corner. Anything to break this one, it will clear that Viper's Pit. Sadak really forced to respect this one. Has to back away. Rejoins the rest of his team, but the pit will fall off the back of that one. Nana Swarms, buying time. Seeker broken up close, that's Durka, who wanted to take the fight to them. One round is ahead, Cosmic Divide. It splits them up, but Les has dropped down into the back of the site, into the pit. In the midst of all of this one, it's a pop flash play, and fully blinded up. Durka can't manage it. Loud with 2. Making their way across now, the scale is in action. The run and gun between the wall, back and forth. In the 2v3, Aspas wins his fight. And Chronicle, is it planted for you? It is, but it matters not.
Loud had to fend off a reverse sweep against them, an attempt at one at the very least. So recently. They know it's doable. And they're in control here on Lotus. Barring a response from Fnatic, it looks like we're heading to map 5. Fnatic are going to be forced to take an eco. Loud on the precipice of getting to 11 on the board.
That would be huge. Deep angle. Horn reveals Aspas. The disrespect shown, though. He still wants the angle. In fact, he wants a bit more. Look at him pushing deep up through C as Fnatic look to threaten the rest of A. But this gives good knowledge. Loud can force one of their players to rotate around, containing towards B and A.
I mean, what is going to happen here if the rotating door between B and C opens? Aspas retreats just a little bit. But I think the game plan for Fnatic is more so about getting ults online, to be honest, more so than anything else.
Door broken. Kawazine to hold. Lovely shot from Alpha. Pushing, lurking, waiting their way in now. Plants. Able to push this back, so it's going to get that extra money in the bank.
If Fnatic want to secure this round, they need plays to be made. Alfiez got himself tucked into an advanced position. Spraying 2 down with the Spectre would be surely more than they can hope for, but Boaster's ready to help.
And clears. Holds his ground, and the angle watched for. No funny business. 2 walls in Chronicle's face. It's not planted for him. And the defuse just being stuck. Full peace of mind for Loud, and that 11th round is theirs.
Loud are 2 rounds away from taking us to a 5th map. We said earlier that history was guaranteed to be made today. It was absolutely guaranteed. Chronicle either lifts a trophy as the first time ever that a player has lifted 2 trophies, or Loud get the back-to-back. However, I did not see it potentially happening in also a reverse sweep.
Hopefully there's enough pages to record that kind of narration.
Fnatic is still going to have something to say about it. Their attack sides have been slow and ponderous so far. Boaster needs to increase the pace. It's all well and good having a meticulous game plan, picking every ult orb up, stressing the defenders out. But there needs to be time on the clock to actually get the spike down, get into comfortable territory.
Flash round aside. Positions known, and a cascade will push back Fnatic further.
4 players ready to collect on C.
Sadak getting away with it there. Spots it out. But a spike grouping up. Bodies there. Fnatic trying to keep their options open, of course. They've got players lurking through into B main, but now the util used. Flash, boombot.
30 seconds, Bren, again.
It's just running too low.
And they've not put pressure anywhere else other than C.
It's looking like Loud for the slam dunk to get that 12th round, to get map point. But now the pressure's applied, and now the call gets made. Move forwards with the rest of the team, spamming those common angles. But guess what? Ultimate's waiting, and Kawazine, no stranger to it. Running all the way around, running rings around them. Everyone drops, and everyone falls. Albier just to survive with bated breath, but he is being collapsed upon. Unbelievable. Loud, pushed to their limits. Bloodied and bruised throughout this entire lock-in tournament. They find themselves up against a very demonic Fnatic squad. Claiming the first 2 maps, it was looking almost over, but they have wrangled it back into control. And 1 step removed from bringing us to that 5th and final map.
Dash said it. What do you do? What do Fnatic do once they first get hit? Once that first punch lands, do Fnatic have what it takes to be able to rally back? At the moment, Loud are swinging.
Pure desperation. 2 players fall. Containment, flick to the side. Aspas might be good for 2. Jiggle of the movement, everything to play for. And every player falling. Loud do it. Outstanding stuff for Loud to bring it all the way.
And I was asking the veteran presences from Loud to step up, to set an example, to show to the rest of the team that comebacks like this are possible. That the match is never over unless you believe it to be so. Unless and Sadak have answered the call. They put up an unbelievable performance there on Lotus, both in terms of the calling, the fragging, the lurking, the anchoring, the shutdown. And this is going to 5. This is going to Icebox. The territory that I have no clue where this is going to end up. A great map for both sides. And form swinging like a chaotic pendulum currently.
Oscillating wildly, back and forth on the knife's edge. Loud respond to the call. They've well earned that 5th map. Push to the brink here in the grand finals. Both teams fighting all the way to carve out that page in the history books. And my God, has it been brilliant to watch. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Even more coming up. And you know you're not going to want to miss this.